Welcome to Narrowboat that James built. Hope you're very well. Thanks for joining me. Well, I've come down here this morning because it's not going to be before long that I'm down there on the cut. It's a lovely little spot that John's got for me. There's a little grass verge and it's overlooking the marina. And it's just going to be lovely, so I can't wait. Only a matter of weeks now, so yeah, it's going to make a change from standing up and going up and down that step ladder all the time onto the boat just to gracefully hop across. Will be most enjoyable. I've also come down here to take some footage of the swans. There's a family of swans flying up and down here, or learning to fly, shall I say. And yeah, it looks lovely. And a little bird tells me it's Tracy's birthday today, so I thought I'd capture some footage for you and see if I can add it to the video. So bit of a birthday treat for you. I don't know if you like swans or not, but well, who doesn't? But Tracy, hope you have a lovely day. Many happy returns on behalf of all 3,000 of us. Happy birthday. Work's got to carry on the boat today. Paul's got to put in the gas locker, and I've asked my surveyor a question to find out as to the hole to go out the bottom of it, whether that needs to be steel tubing, whether there's any kind of minimum size requirements. Obviously it's got to be angled down and the end of it's got to be above the water line. That's pretty obvious. And it's got to start at the bottom of the tank, but really about the dimensions of the actual tube, we just want to double check that we're inside the regulations for that. But the yeah, with some more work that needs to be done on the gas locker. So Paul's, I think I can hear him doing that at the moment, so so that's good. For me, I've got to carry on with the shower and do the conduit and the electric cables and the dinette. So that's really my target to, by the end of today, is to have got all that done. Maybe not finish the shower because it takes time to dry, but the base has been, the slopey bit's been done. I'm really happy with how it's turned out. Actually, I did that. It's kind of been drying overnight, so now I need to make the back bit and then the wall that comes down. I've got an issue with the placement of the taps, so if you've got OCD, you're not going to like how this is going to work out for you whatsoever. But for me, luckily I don't, so I'm just going to make my peace with the fact that they're going to be slightly, quite a lot off centre, but that's just the way it is. I'm just scraping away some of the adhesive here. As you can see, there's quite a lot, but this is coming off fine. I'm really happy with the edge that I managed to achieve on this. That is it's got a nice thing for it to run off there. It sticks out just the amount I want from this angle here. That's exactly what I wanted it to be like. I'm going to silicone all through in there with clear silicone, so it's going to have a nice kind of edge to it. But that's all of these tiles here were hand selected, and these ones there to make sure that the softest and smoothest edges were kind of together. So I've got to carry on doing a bit of this today. Paul is doing the gas locker at the moment, so he's putting a new base in the gas locker, welding that in, cutting a new hole, and then he'll be putting that in the boat. So as much as I'm doing nothing to progress my side of getting the chimney installed, he's also doing nothing to progress his side of getting the engine started. So work's taking place, just nothing on the challenges yet. But I'm going to crack on with this, and then I'm going to start doing some work in the dinette and getting the ceiling panels in place and things like that. So the gas locker's getting a new base to it, a new piece of 3mm steel, just tacking that in place, welding it, make sure it's airtight, and putting it here on these braces going across from the frame of the engine to the stern wall. planing is just so awkward to do above your head. Luckily I've only got one of these battens to plane down, but someone suggested using the router to do that. I mean, I couldn't think of anything more terrifying. So thanks for that suggestion, but no. Anyway, I took off what I needed to. I've completely ruined 2 cups of tea in doing so, with all that and the spray foam all flicking into it. So I'm taking 5 just to sit down and actually enjoy a cup of tea that doesn't need straining. And now I've got to carry on and put the conduit in. This stuff I'm going to put in using grip fill instead of the what I've used in other parts of the boat, which was the spray foam, the adhesive qualities of the spray foam. I'm not going to bother, it's just such a hassle. It oozes out everywhere, and in doing so it kind of goes into the clips that you need to form a good seal. It just makes it more hassle to put the stuff on. I'm certainly going to take the advice that people gave last time you watched me struggling and swearing my head off trying to install conduit. So I'll put in some little bits of blue tack and some other small bits of conduit just to hold all the cables in place. But the dinette's having 4 lights, so 2 kind of above this part here. You're going to want the light when you're sitting at a table. You don't want the light above your head. You want it kind of in front of your face, but obviously not in front of your face, it's going to be in the ceiling, but around this area, so it illuminates in front of you. And obviously when someone's not sitting here, it will illuminate the area. So there's 1 here and 1 here, so kind of covering the table area. Basically, so there's 4 in the dinette, which I think will be plenty. Damn it. Because this is the second lighting circuit I've done, I've mapped it in a way which makes it much easier to put in the conduit and therefore put in the cabling. So it's always the way with these things. Second time's always better than the first. And just before I get myself either a very early dinner or a very late lunch, I'm just going to put in a little bit of this just where I can see some larger gaps, because it does work as a bond. Right, I can let that dry, and then come back to it in a little bit. Might go out for a little walk. Well, that's a damn sight easier. I'm using tiny little bits of conduit off the lid bit of it. Oh, that one drops in my drink. That is just ridiculous. Literally everything falls in my drink. Yeah, but that works nicely. I'll fish that out in a bit. The positions for the lights themselves have been put in place, and now I'm just running the cables back to the switch and back to the distribution box. So this negative here goes from the lights and goes straight there. The positive from the lights is going to come down to the switch here. I'm going to mark off with a bit of masking tape there, and then it goes back up. I'll give it a bit extra. So the dinette lights are in, well, electric cables in, ready for them. So it starts here with the switch, positive cable going up in this piece of conduit here to the junction, goes this way back to the power source, and then once it's turned on, goes from here to the first light, which is here. And then the second light is there, third light is there, and the fourth light is there. Nice and neat, this one. Well, I'll just finish laying the cable for the dinette lights. The reason I've done this is because obviously, as you know, I'm in a rush to get the ceiling panel in above the chimney. And I've just been making a cup of tea and I've been looking at it, and that is from this end here, from the dinette end, the chimney is the third panel. So I've got two full panels to do before I get to the chimney. If I was to have gone from the kitchen, from the galley, the chimney is in the second panel, is at the end of the second panel. So it would have been quicker, a whole panel quicker for me to have started at the other end. That said, I'm doing it now, so I'm just going to carry on. It's just one of those things. I'm taking a little break now. You'll be surprised to learn I've actually tidied up and sorted myself out for the next task. And the next task is to cut down this board here, which is 8x4. It cuts really easily, it's only 5.5mm thick. So cut that down to size, which is obviously going to go across the span of the roof that way. And then I'll get my new 58 hole cutter from Calvin, and I will put that in and see how it goes. Right, I now got to put the holes in this first board. The first panel has only got 2 holes in it for these 2 lights here, so that's a relief. There's only 2. Apart, well, there's kind of 2.5. The mushroom vent is in the seam between these 2 panels. I did think about trimming this panel back a bit by maybe 10 centimeters, 15 centimeters, in order for the mushroom vent to be in one panel to make it easier for the kind of the decorative cap to be put on it. But to be honest, the problem with doing that means that I would have a James edge all the way down it, whereas if I leave it as it is, I'll have 2 factory edges, and that's going to look better. Bear in mind it's a ceiling. I'm not going to really want to try to fill and disguise an ugly edge, so this will be much easier. So I know the lights from there. I mean, this doesn't need to be bang on. If it's slightly out, it doesn't matter, but I wanted it to be in front of the dinette. That's going to be 2 foot. Your head would be a bit back, so I'm going to do this at 2 foot. I'll do it in imperial for my American viewers. And then from the end here, that is one and 3/4 feet. No, 500mm. That's much better. 500, just bang on, isn't it? Ain't mucking around. So by definition, the other one should be the same. Yes, perfect. Oh right, the 58 marking really looks like a 6. Okay, so with these ones, the idea is you take out all the ones you don't want. That's the one I do want, that's the 58. And then you put this one back on in the 58 groove. There we go. So I've got my hole marked out. I know it's only going to go through into the lining of the dinette, so that's all right. It's not going to go into the dinette itself. Well, that was a little bit more civilised than the last one. But here's the test. Come back. There we go. Well, Calvin, you have just made the 18 of these I've got to cut a damn sight more pleasurable. So thank you very much. Right, one more to do. I don't really need to test each single one, do I? But gives quite a satisfying plunk when it goes in. Smashing. Well, that hole cutter's worked fine. So that means I can get the paint pot on this ceiling panel now. I'm going to make sure I paint the right side this time. I'll see if I can give it 2 coats. And I'm going to see if I can get into the workshop and get another panel and see if I can get another one cut and another one painted tonight. And then I've only got one more panel to do tomorrow. Then I can do the rest of the chimney tomorrow, and I could possibly have it lit on the 100th day. I don't know how Paul's getting on. Obviously he's done well on the gas locker today. I know he's been doing stuff on the prop. He talked to me about a starter button versus a key, but he said if we want to go for a key, then he's going to have a look for one. Otherwise, we'll have to order one. So I don't know if he's buying time or managing expectations or whatever, but there we go. Also to Graham, you kindly put some money in my PayPal account. We got chatting on Facebook about it, and mate, thank you so much. Just wanted to let you know I have bought my kitchen taps with it. Sorry, the galley taps. So they're really nice ones, and as you know, there's so much stuff to fit out the boat with. So it was really thoughtful and kind of you, and so yeah, I want to let you know I put it to something decent, something I'll use every day. It's not just going in the endless pit that is the boat. It's actually going on something tangible. So every time I make a cup of tea or anything, I'll be thanking you. So cheers for that. So yeah, I'm going to crack on with this tonight. Hope you've all been well. Tracy, hope you had a great day. There's a little thing for you after this. Next one is the 100th. So I've got a lot of work to carry on with tonight, to carry on with the ceiling, and so the 100th, at least I can get close to fulfilling my side of the bargain. Anyway, until next time, take care. Bye bye. 2, 3.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Tracy. Happy birthday to you.